All right. Good afternoon, everybody, once again, and welcome to the first webinar from Ingram Micro Cybersecurity for 2019. My name is Praveen Joseph. I'm part of the Ingram Micro Cybersecurity team, and I'm joined by Ibrahim Khalil, who is our product manager for Ipswich, as well as Chris Payne, who's joining us from Norway all the way up, pre-sales consultant, Ipswich. We Today in our webinar, we're going to be discussing about cryptojacking. Now, if you're familiar with the cybersecurity threats and the landscape overall, you would have noticed in 2017, ransomware was the biggest buzzword. All right, one of the new emerging forms of cybercrime for hackers and all the nefarious agents that we cybersecurity professionals defend organizations against. But in 2018, it was the year of cryptojacking. What is cryptojacking? How is it related to the cryptocurrency wave and blockchain itself, so to speak? Let us find out today, as we're going to be joined by Khalil as well as Chris. We have a very exciting session packed and line for you. Do stay with us through the end. Your questions, please feel free to type them into the chat window. We're going to park them towards the end. Also, we have a very interesting demo that Chris has lined up for us. So, and this is going to happen more towards the end of the session, after the second half. So do stay with us, and thank you so much for joining once again. Khalil, I pass it over to you.
Thank you, Praveen, for the brief introduction. Good afternoon all. My name is Khalil Ibrahim. I work as a product manager of Ipswich at Ingram Micro Meta. So Ipswich is a product which offers two different solutions. One is network management and one is file transfer solution. And which is called WhatsApp Gold for network management solution and Move It for file transfer solution. So I also welcome Chris is joining us from Norway for a demo session, and he'll be speaking about how to respond to threat faster and how to monitor your network with Ipswich WhatsApp Gold. So today agenda is what is crypto mining and cryptojacking, how hacker use your own tool against you, and why websites move from advertising to crypto mining. And like I said, Chris will be speaking about respond to threat faster and how to monitor network with Ipswich WhatsApp Gold. So before we see what is cryptojacking, we have to understand what is crypto mining and the process it takes to mine a cryptocurrency. So crypto mining is a process where cryptocurrency transactions are verified and it's added to a public ledger known as blockchain. So when I say blockchain, it is just like a public ledger or a register. This shared among a large network of computer, and it consists of all the transactions it has have been taken place using a certain cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Litecoin, etc. As it looks like a simple job, and due to large number of individuals who are available to do this job, it is made difficult. Like adding a blockchain can be done only by solving complex algorithms and mathematical problems. So today, mining are done by certain pairs of cryptocurrency network who compete individually or in a group to win cryptocurrency. So in group as in hackers or miners who work together to solve a problem. If you ask me how this mining works, it works through high potential computer, like high-end computers with very good graphical power unit. So the miners use the information found on the block of the blockchain and use mathematical formulas to turn them into a sequence demonished hash, which it used to add the next block. So to carry out this whole process, miners need significant computational power, especially to solve those algorithms and mathematical problems with special software. So at the end, as a reward, these miners get cryptocurrencies for the work what they have done. So this is crypto mining in brief. So let's see what is cryptojacking. So I hope you got a guess what is cryptojacking is. So cryptojacking is the same process like crypto mining, where it is achieved illegally by hijacking other people's processing power or the graphical power and using to mine the cryptocurrencies. So this is typically achieved with the scripts that run behind the scene on website or by malicious crypto mining softwares. So it is possible to hijack a machine and server to run full-blown crypto mining software, which can be installed by malware or can be done by some roach employees. So in simple word, cryptojacking is a bit like someone else is taking your car and earning money with it on Uber or Careem without you knowing. So he would be collecting the profit behind your back and hoping you don't notice. So or in simple other terms, I can say like when you're out for work and someone is entering your home and is using your electricity or water and it troubles you, right? You will be in cryptojacking. The use your processing power to mine the cryptocurrencies. So let's see what is the process carried out in cryptojacking. First, the cyber criminal compromise a website. Then they will execute the cryptojacking script in the website. So when a person visits the website, he or she will unknowingly start doing the mining in the background. So, so once the new block is added in the blockchain with someone else's CPU, the cyber criminal will receive cryptocurrency as a reward. So if you get affected with the crypto miner, all your data is still there and you can still access it, but just like not like a ransomware, but your data will be safe. However, your computer will be probably will be annoyingly slow. Your laptop fans will be roaring like all time, and your battery life will be hopeless. And end of the day, there is less amount of productivity. So when you say less amount of productivity, end of the day, it's a loss of money in any organization. So alternatively, not only with the JavaScript embedded in the website, the cyber criminals can bypass the browser and they can install a crypto miner software directly onto the computer machine with some dodgy link. So this is the process happen behind cryptojacking. So let's see why websites are moving from advertising to crypto mining. So more than 97% of website out there are for monetizing. So making sense like websites owner needs money to run the website. So what they do, they make some advertisements on the websites and they get income on that. So there are websites like blogs, form sites, and some free tool websites. So they have agreement with the ad agencies like Google or any other to display ads in their website and get income for each click done by the traffic visitor. So now when you see why websites are moving from advertising to crypto mining, so these are the reasons like skipping ads. So we never get entertained by ads, right? And usually we skip ads and we always wanted to get rid of ads in any website. So on that note, most users started using ad block software like extension, ad block extension in the browsers, which results to big letdown for the advertising agencies or advertising market and those website owners. And when they struggle to make money out of ad monetizing, a company called Conhive, they came up with a solution like they compromised this website owners to embed cryptojacking JavaScript and make money out of it. So in case a visitor doesn't, like in this case, a visitor doesn't need to click any ad to make money. Only they have to make an engagement on the website. So when a visitor is engaged on a website which is has the crypto mining JavaScript embedded on it, on background the cryptojacking code will be running and mining cryptocurrency, and it makes your CPU usage higher and higher. So this is the reason why these websites are moving from advertising to cryptojacking. So let's see some examples from the past. Like in 2018, Google Ads was compromised by Conhav, so they were hijacked and it was embedded in the Google Ads. So whenever the visitors watching YouTube videos, in the background the cryptocurrencies, sorry, the crypto mining script was running and the CPU was utilized. And there was a plugin called Browse Aloud. This Browse Aloud is an assistive technology software which adds text to speech functionality to websites. So what happened here is the Browse Aloud was hijacked, and they implemented this cryptojacking software, sorry, scripts on the Browse Aloud. So whichever website is using the Browse Aloud plugin got affected, and the users or user CPU are highly hijacked. So this is the malvertising campaign. This chart is released by Trend Micro. So it shows the chart shows the detection of malvertising campaign abusing Google DoubleClick. So you can see the in 2018 it goes, the reach level is too high. So let's see what are the damages it caused. The main cause is let down in your performance, which results in decrease in productivity. It is done by heavy usage of CPU and GPU, as I said earlier. So just consider a media firm. Uh, their productivity is completely dependent on CPU and performance. So just think when there is a team which is editing a video content and they need to render it in a particular time. So when this CPUs or GPUs hijacked by crypto miners, and this when this utilization of CPU is very higher, their productivity will definitely will go down. Or in other case, for example, there will be a major critical situation when it comes to healthcare sector. So healthcare sector is highly IoT dependent, and most of the equipments are integrated with computer. And when there is cryptojack attack happen there, it puts patient's life in risk. So let's see how to stop being mined. So the first and foremost action you have to do is keep your softwares update, especially your antivirus. So use network managing softwares like Ipswitch, WhatsApp Gold to regularly monitor your CPU and graphical power unit usage. And also you get alert during unusual events happen in your system or your network. So only download exe files, like exe file softwares from verified source. That would be original source. And there are a lot of browser extension available for Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Safari, whatever browser it is. So this extension are available for blocking crypto mining scripts happening in the website. So what it does is it blocks the website from running crypto mining scripts. So that's all from my side. So I'm handovering it to Mr. Chris. He will be providing you a demo session. So
excellent. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Khalil?
Yes, Chris. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So I just need to share my screen with you guys. Let's have a look. Yes. Okay. There we go. So I've got a little green box around my screen now, which I think means that you can see it. So Good afternoon to everybody on today's call. As you would have heard at the beginning, I am calling you from Norway, so it's morning for me. And usually the question I always get when I tell people that I'm in Norway is how cold is it? So I'll tell you that in the beginning. It's -6 today, which means it's actually warmer in my refrigerator. So I'm going to stay in my office and keep the heater on for the rest of this webinar. But just to introduce myself, my name is Chris Payne. I work for Ipswich as a pre-sales consultant, and I've actually been working with Ipswich Solutions, not just network monitoring, but also managed file transfer for almost 9 years now. So I have been working with these types of solutions for quite some time. And I have spent some time looking at competitor solutions as well. So I have a good idea of the market, and of course, working with customers, getting a really good idea of the types of problems and issues and things that people need solving. And of course, cryptojacking is one that does come up quite frequently, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. And in my career as well, I've also come across some of the issues around cryptojacking. I used to work for a company that had a very small WordPress website for booking events. And we couldn't figure out after a couple of months why the visitor levels were sort of dropping off. We were going from maybe 100 visits a week to maybe a handful, less than 10. And of course, we found out after browsing the website that all of our CPUs would go up to 100%. The website would become very slow. And a little bit of investigation, we found out that CoinHive script had been injected into our WordPress site. And we had to spend quite a bit of time getting that out. So, I'm very used to the effects of cryptojacking, not just on the user, but also on the business as well. Khalil mentioned that 97% of the internet is really there as a monetized base. And of course, your web presence and your ability to trade on the internet is critical. And we need to make sure that you're at top peak efficiency at all time. So on to What's Up Gold. You should all at least be able to see on your screen that the first kind of view that most people would have of What's Up Gold. And if you're not familiar with the solution, it's in the game of network, resource, and incident response monitoring. So what we effectively do is we connect into all kinds of devices in your network. It could be servers. It could be those web servers that are delivering website content to your users. It could be your users' desktops or laptops, their Macs. And you'll see some other devices on the screen as well, like printers and Wi-Fi, etc. And what we do is after we connect to these devices, we start to perform tests on them regularly to get information about CPU utilization, how much disk space is left, whether or not changes have been made to that particular device. And that will really give you a good idea of health, and will give you a good idea of if the cryptojacking injection has taken place, and of course any other problems that could crop up as well. Now, for anybody out there that's maybe got a security operations center, or maybe a team that looks at these devices on a day-to-day basis, this is our My Network screen. And you can have this as a screen that you can move around and map, that you can click on different devices and highlight them to get an idea of physical connection between different devices. Or we can actually have it as a device list. Some of our customers prefer to have a list. Some of them like to have the map view. It really just depends on your preference, but you can see that we can switch between them quite quickly. You'll also notice the majority of my network is highlighted in green. And of course, that's a good thing. That means that those items are healthy. But you'll notice that we have a couple of items that are either highlighted in red, like this one here, or we've got a little red circle on this green device. And that indicates some kind of issue on those devices. How much red there is on the screen gives you an idea of how serious that problem is. But it gives us an idea of any devices in our network or servers that might need a little bit of your attention. And these things are dynamic. So as soon as we detect a problem, we'll indicate that on the screen to you. Now, just to give you an idea of how this works, I'll click on, let's click on one of these devices over here. It's a Windows server. I'll go and click on this box. And this brings up the device properties. Now, the reason why I want to show you this screen is give you an idea of the types of things that we can monitor. Now, at the moment, you can see that I'm checking for ping, so I'm just ensuring that device is alive or at least responding on network packets. I'm looking at various different resources, so memory, disk space, CPU. I'm taking a constant measurement of those devices over time so I can see them go up and down over the day, or possibly if they've been cryptojacked, then I can see that that's taken place. But I can also add monitors that look for other things. Khalil said in part of his recommendations for combating cryptojacking was take regular backups. Well, one of the things that we can do is we can monitor the logs on those servers, whether it be a Windows server where we look at Windows event log, it could be a Unix server where we look at syslog. We can tell you if those backups were successful or not. And we can obviously put a little indicator on the green circle here just to tell you whether or not those backups happened. So it's not just a case of us looking at the health of the device now, but we can also try and tell you what's happened overnight. Are there processes that haven't run that would usually run, to try and give you an idea of a problem that could be developing in the future. So you can add all of these monitors to the device to give you this indicator of long-term health. Now, of course, when we monitor these devices, we end up with metrics. We end up with graphs and charts that tell us the devices that might be in trouble or might need a bit of information or inspection. And so we have a bunch of different reports. You can create your own dashboards, by the way, if you've got a team that focuses on virtualization. You can create a virtualization dashboard. If you've got a team that focuses on Wi-Fi, you could, of course, have a dashboard focused on that as well. But for most of our customers, they'll either have one large dashboard for everything, or they may break it down into different departments, buildings, business organizational units. The option is there for you to customize and divide these up as you wish. But I thought for this webinar, one of the areas that you might be most interested in seeing is what we call our top 10 reports. So if I click on CPU utilization as an example, what we're doing here is we're bringing back a list of the devices that have the highest levels of CPU utilization in our network. Now, one of the reasons I think it's important to show you this report is a typical symptom of cryptojacking is that the CPU will go up to as high as it can because, of course, the person that is cryptojacking you wants to make sure that all your resources are placed into generating those crypto coins for them. And so you'll want to be looking out for these devices that suddenly see spikes in CPU activity. It could be that it's just the device is overloaded with general network traffic or whatever that device has been created for. But of course, what we're looking for is spikes. And so we've got a list here and it goes from top down to bottom, and you can see I can scroll down. You get an indicator based on color as well there. You get the name of the device on the left. Bear in mind, this is a demo network, so we've just named them Windows 1, 2, 3. Of course, that would be your host name of your particular device. And we can also take a look at the results of this, not just now, but we could look back in time as well. So for example, I might want to have a look at week to date. I may just want to have a look at yesterday. It could be that I want to have a look at a very particular time period so that I can inspect, over time what the CPU utilization of these devices are. I can also break this down. We can divide our solution up into groups, like I mentioned to you. It could be department, business unit, it could be device type. You could even break it down into particular IP address groups if you'd like to. But we can narrow this down. And one of the main reasons for doing that is we can export these reports and we can schedule them. So just over in the corner, you can see that I can export this to a PDF. Any management, auditors maybe, if the results of this need to be discussed in a meeting, it might be useful for you to export these items, and we can export every report in the solution out into either a PDF or a Microsoft Excel format. So lots of really good scope there for exporting these reports. And you would have noticed if I just click on Analyze again, we do have other types of reports in here. Of course, things like disk utilization. We do have our predictive trending to try and give you an idea of when these devices might run out of space or might become a problem. And then we've got some other reports here for things like device health, monitors that are being detected, etc. Now, if I wanted to inspect one of these devices in particular, it's quite simple. I could either find it in my network map, or I can select it from this view. And I think it's more common that you would select it from this view, because I myself as a network admin would probably come to this report, think, wow, okay, I need to take a look at the top, maybe what is it, 8 or so devices here. And we can just click on this 3 dots and choose to have a look at device status. Now, what that's going to do is take us to a report that is specifically focused on that device. And you can see, again, this is a demo network, so not a lot happening on the graph, but you can see that we've got 3 CPUs in this Cisco device. One of them is within the green range, 2 of them are hitting 100%. And I can have a look over time to see how that graph is reacting to different things in the network. Now, as I say, this is a demo network, so it's pretty flat. But as I move my cursor across the line, which would usually be wavy, you can see that we can plot this graph and find out what time, what date we were seeing increases in CPU activity. And of course, the same exists for memory and disk space as well. Now, to make this even more interesting, there are other things that we can do with network monitoring tools outside of just looking at CPU and memory. For example, Khalil mentioned keeping software up to date. And one of the things that we can do in our system is, if we're monitoring all of your Windows servers, well then of course we can tell you all of the updates that you've installed. There's no need for you to log onto these servers and check which KBs you've installed for your Microsoft Windows operating system. We can just give you a list of them already, and you'll be able to export that and search through them, and then make a plan as to what you need to install, or make some kind of attack plan for updating these things. We also have the ability to run a module called network traffic analysis. This is an add-on to the basic version of WhatsUp Gold. But essentially what we can do with this is not just look at the health of the device, but also look at the network packets that it's sending and receiving. And we can break this down into where most of the packets are coming from, where most of the packets are being received. It could be a device inside or outside of your network. We can also break that down into location by city. You can see there's items there. Top sending domains and top sending receivers, and all of these things are clickable, so we can filter them, we can delve down deeper into them if we want to. So there's lots of different options there. I can also click on troubleshooting, for example, and have a look at failed connections, the most chattiest conversation partners. That's how often do 2 particular endpoints speak to each other. So there's a great scope here for not just looking at, is the device reacting to cryptojacking, but are we seeing increased or even decreased chat traffic based on that crypto traffic? It might be that we're seeing communication with a command center. It could be that we're seeing things like ransomware keys being transferred out to the internet. All these types of things you can use in a network and device monitoring system. So again, there's lots of scope here, not just in particular devices and not just in cryptojacking, for monitoring your network. Now, this network traffic analysis piece, effectively the way that it works is your switches and routers, especially if they've been created in the last 5 years, will usually include a module called NetFlow or SFlow for some devices, sometimes even called JFlow for Juniper devices. And we capture those packets, very much like syslog, and we will dissect them and we will place them onto the reports, as you can see here. And of course, we can export them, we can look back in time, and we can focus on very particular devices as well. So incredibly powerful solution. One of the things that we've focused on quite a lot in the last, I'll say 12 months, is not just detecting devices are with ill health and presenting that to you on a screen, but actually taking on this idea of incident response. So when we detect the device has a problem, we no longer just tell you, but we attempt to do something about it. And this really plays to where the industry has been going for quite some time now, which is the idea of automation. If you guys consume a lot of media content, if you read the newspapers or the magazines or the blog articles out there, you'll know that there's a lot of focus today on automated responses. And one of the things that Ipswich has tried to focus on is being a part of that process. So whenever we detect a condition, it could be a device has gone down, it could be a CPU has reached 95% utilization, it could be a disk has 10 gigabytes left. It really is up to you as to how you configure this. We can then run an action or a number of actions based on that condition. Now, in the past, it's been very common just to send an email. A device has hit 95% CPU, it could be cryptojacked, send an email to the IT team. And I would say that a large proportion of our customers today still use email as the major function for WhatsUp Gold. But we've really expanded things quite some way. We can now send text messages. We can run scripts, and that could be an action script, a PowerShell script, a batch script. We can even run SSH commands. Think about this as a scenario. You see one of your web servers has CPU of 99%, and it's affecting your customers' access to that site. Well, we could send an SSH command to one of your border switches and ask it to turn off the connection to that server. So you've got an automated response there that you haven't had to interact with at all. We can do things like connect to VMware and Hyper-V. If your servers are primarily virtualized, well, when we see specific conditions, we could run snapshots, we could restore snapshots, we could turn other virtual machines on or off. We can do things like connect to IFTTT. I don't know how familiar you guys are with IFTTT, but if you've ever used home automation like Alexa or Google Home or any of those types of solutions, IFTTT is the glue that connects smart devices to these automation solutions. And so it's an interesting use case, but I have one customer who has those Philips Hue bulbs. I don't know if you know them, but they can change color on the smartphone app. And what they did was they were measuring the temperature of their server room, and when it came too high, the lights in the server room would become more red. And as the temperature went down, the lights would go back to a sort of a normal white or yellow color. So not a fantastic use case, but kind of cool, the things that Ipswich WhatsUp Gold can do. And then, of course, the really interesting things that we've added more recently is connection with things like ServiceNow, Ops Genie, and there are some others on the horizon as well. And again, I'm not familiar with whether or not these types of solutions are very popular in your region, but ServiceNow is an IT service management tool, which allows you to do things like IT ticketing requests, incident response. It can do all kinds of things. A very, very popular tool. And Ipswich WhatsUp Gold can effectively detect a condition in your network or on one of your devices and possibly raise a ticket, escalate it to the right team, track how they cure that issue, and of course present that to management. So again, we're really looking at creating this end-to-end system whereby we can detect the problem, report the problem, or possibly even correct the problem as well. So yes, there's some really good scope for Ipswich WhatsUp Gold in those types of scenarios. Now, one of the things I wanted to leave you guys with is that the system that I've been showing you on the screen right now is actually a free to access demo. So of course, you can of course get in contact with the guys at Ingram after this call and ask for them to provide you with a demo, and you can run the demo on your own network, and the guys there are very capable and of course can help you to run that demo and advise you on how it works. But if you wanted to get a very quick idea of how to use WhatsUp Gold, well, just put the URL that I've got in my Chrome browser here in your own browser. There's no login prompt. It will take you to the same screen that you can see right now, and you can go ahead and click around and have a look for yourselves. There's enough devices in here for you to play around with. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. If you want a demo, have a look at this URL. But other than that, I look forward to any questions that you might have towards the end of the call. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, so it.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was an awesome, really good demo. Just give us a second, guys, please, while we get our audio back.
I can hear you, by the way.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for your patience while we sorted that out, Chris. That was a really excellent demo, and I want to thank you for taking the time. Khalil as well, his session was very informative, and I hope that the audience here with us today, you were able to benefit from the entire session. On behalf of the whole of the Ingram Micro Cybersecurity team, let me thank you and remind you once again that we are here to enable you along your cybersecurity journey. You are our partners, our most valued entities in the whole challenges that we face in cybersecurity and that we're seeking to address for your end customers. Without you, it is not possible for us to move forward. So please get in touch with us. Like you saw in this particular webinar, we are very in touch with our vendors as well as the trends and the challenges that the entire industry is facing and how we are addressing these challenges. Just a quick reminder. We are taking a holistic approach to cybersecurity, like you can see here on the slide. We're touching upon people, processes, as well as on technology. On the technology front is where we have relations with valued partners such as Ipswitch, one of the only players in this in their specific solutions that they're offering. Pretty much very insignificant or absolutely no competition that they face. That you can see on the right of the screen, more than 25 cybersecurity vendors that we distribute in the META region. Plus, from a vendor agnostic perspective, we offer cybersecurity services as well as trainings. So if you want to learn more about crypto mining or what implications it has for your organization, we have the team, we have the skills that can actually develop a training, develop even consultancy or assessment services, vendor agnostic to start with. And then we will be able to position the best vendor solutions that your organization needs. All right, so this is a way in which we've aligned the first two verticals, touching both upon processes as well as people. On services, we have technical assessments, consulting, as well as managed security. When I say technical assessments, we can do vulnerability assessments, penetration tests, web app scans, web malware detection scans, and so on for you. We are continuing to deliver these in a very fast and scalable mechanism across the whole of the EMEA region. On consultancy, we have a team of highly qualified consultants as part of our entire offering. In fact, I'll be showing you the team's profiles in a couple of minutes, so you can put a face to our names. We are able to come to your organizations, your end customers' organizations, bring them up to compliance in terms of standards like NISA, ATSIC, GDPR also, for that matter, and of course the more traditional ISO 27001s or the PCI DSSs of the world. So we have teams who have qualifications as well as certifications who can come down and actually help you or your end customers to achieve these certifications. On the managed security front is where we have SOC as a service, expertise on demand, these kinds of 24/7 monitoring of your end customers' environments. We are able to offer this. We have SOC available here as well in Dubai as well as in Saudi. And for those who are cost conservative, we have options in India, Pakistan, as well as in Egypt as well if they're looking for a SOC. On the trainings front, we have trainings for people who have zero background in security, your end users, so to speak, to those who are extremely proficient in security, your cybersecurity team. And of course, on the privacy front, we have GDPR specific trainings. We've partnered with IAPP, the International Association of Privacy Professionals, to bring you these, GDPR trainings, CIPPE and CIPM. They happen to be the most respected GDPR certification trainings in the world as we speak right now. All right, and on the third pillar is where I already mentioned we have vendors. Ipswich happens to be one of our most valued vendors, and we distribute more than 25 vendors in the entire META region. A quick update on our marketing front. This webinar is if I remember right, about 25 or 26 of the total webinars that we've done. Every single month we keep doing webinars, and this has been a trend that we've stuck to and have been very, very committed over the last 2 years. We partner with vendors such as Ipswich to bring in complete value to the sessions as well as to the partners who join these sessions. All the webinars are recorded. You can find them on our YouTube channel, which is Ingram Micro Cybersecurity, the pre-recorded webinars from the past. Last month, we looked at the entire cybersecurity landscape for 2018, as well as what are the predictions for 2019. This was the December webinar. Articles and newsletters happen to be something that we are very, very focused upon. You might have seen emails coming in from Jessica, who is responsible for launching out our monthly newsletter called Cyber Bytes. We also onboarded Ipswich very, very recently, just a couple of days back on the 23rd of Jan. We had the Ipswich Ingram Micro onboarding event, or the launch event, which was conducted at Rixos JBR in Dubai. With partners such as yourselves, we are very, very closely aligned. We have meetings with yourselves and have partner enablement sessions. There is also a free tool that we offer for you as well as your end customers. Essentially, this is what we call the free public discovery report, or PDR scan. What we do here is, and by the way, these can be completely white labeled for you as our partner. If you give us a name of your customer, we go out and we look on publicly available resources, including just about Google, or going out to dark web websites and looking for any sensitive information of your customer lying there, which really shouldn't be there. So we've had cases where we've seen customers, employees, payslip information, payroll information, insider trade secrets, and all of this kind of data, which is being discussed in dark web websites or by criminal organizations. So we were able to put all of this into a neat 5-page report. The catch is, this is a free service that we offer, and the catch is that we'll spend only 2 to 3 man days depending upon the case. We don't go all the way because, of course, there is a limit, and this is a free service that we offer. The idea is that you can approach your customer with these reports and tell them, we found this information of yours lying out there. You need to really start worrying about cybersecurity. And from there, we are able to open the doors. You, with us, are able to open the doors into these end customers for further selling of cybersecurity services, trainings, or products. Right? So be sure that you make use of this free service that we're offering, which is the public discovery report. Very, very popular across the whole of the EMEA region where we are positioning ourselves. All right, thank you so much. A quick introduction to the team. Although you might have seen or interacted with almost all of us here, Mark Casas, he's the head and the founder of the cybersecurity division. And under him, we have Ariana, who's heading the services. A whole bunch of consultants as well as pre-sales engineers. We roll up to Ariana. Jessica and Shanum are responsible for marketing as well as business support, respectively. We also have product managers, a very, very talented team that you can see right here. Khalil is a person who is responsible for Ipswich, and he had given the session for you right now. So the next time that you see us, you really know who you're talking to, or when you see emails from us, you know that these are the faces. If you have any questions, guys, please chat away right now. We are more than happy to answer them. And we'll give you about 2 to 3 minutes now waiting for your questions. There's a chat window. Feel free to just type away your questions. No questions so far. It couldn't have been so clear. Come on. Okay. Let me remind you that we are available on email. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to just send them across to us. The session was recorded, and this recording will also be uploaded over to our YouTube channel, Ingram Micro Cybersecurity. Keep spreading the word, and happy security to everybody else. Thank you so much. Chris, thank you once again on behalf of the entire Ingram Micro Cybersecurity team. Excellent. Thank you.